You are live. Let me find. All right. What is up, traders? My name is Heath. This is Trade Talk. Tonight, we got us a guest. Brandon with Crypto Trades and Tech is going to be here to help me along in my analysis, simply because he knows the white papers better than anybody that I know. So essentially, I'm going to give you some technical levels at all of the crypto pairs that I'm looking at that's going off the chain today. Mr. Tom, I made you a moderator, so I'm glad you could make it. So first off, we're going to start with Bitcoin. We're going to start off with Bitcoin USD. If you look at my chart, you should be able to see that I have this market structure made from the 19th of January, 2021. This market structure, swing high, we were not able to break above when Elon Musk decided to call Bitcoin out on his Twitter page. All right, you can see we did pull back, but we did find support right here at the 32,510 level. And then we have done nothing but move up since. Now, we did get an 8-hour closure above that market structure. So now I will simply bring this line over here to this last market structure swing high. And that is the area where I will be watching current price when it likes to pull back into that area. What's up, everybody? Tom, everybody, Mickey, Stefano, Nick, Kyle, Alan. Thank you
What's
guys
up,
for
everybody?
being here.
Hi, this is Brandon
Yep.
too. Saying hi.
Brandon is here. All right. This is the
I'm
first time
copying
ever.
your levels there, Heath. I'm copying your levels. I'm over here marking up my charts. I'm following along. Keep rolling.
All right. So basically what we're going to be looking for on Bitcoin for the next, few minutes is we're going to be watching that 37,178 spot 27 level, because that level, in my opinion, is going to offer up some kind of support. If I go into a smaller time frame chart, you can see that we do have a bearish 4-hour candle right here at 36,950. Let me get it right exactly where it needs to be. That's 36,910. Apologies. You can see that area there will come in nicely for a wick lower. We do want to see Bitcoin hold this area. So back to an 8-hour chart, you can see that we have not. Since we made this, I just brought basically the low of this candle made on January the 27th. I tacked it down to that low there. The next area I tacked it to was the January the 31st candle. So that is 2 touches on a trend line. We will be waiting for a third. In my opinion, this is not financial advice, would be a good area to look for a possible support hold and to maybe get long if you're long on Bitcoin. All right, ETH USD. ETH is a freight train. If you are trying to short this thing, you are getting ran over every single day. Look at this thing go. All right, so we were trading in this channel. I'm going to go ahead and throw my lines up here for you real quick. That's what I got going on there. You can see that we had an absolute, hang on, I don't like that. I like it to be non-subjective. And there you have it. You have an 8-hour closure above this ascending trend line here. That is good. Simple fact that we're moving higher from this level means that we are taking out shorts. They are exiting their positions. Breakout traders are buying. FOMO traders are buying. And ETH is going to the moon. All right, so we need to find some valid levels for support. First level we're going to look for a support test and hold is going to be right here at 1549 spot 42. Let me change this line back to the original color it's supposed to be. Right, there we go. So at 1549 spot 42, it's going to be my first area to look for a support test and hold. All right, this thing is awful bullish. I am not looking to sell this. I wouldn't suggest you do it either. ETH BTC, just to bring things into perspective, we have Bitcoin moving up nicely, but ETH versus Bitcoin is doing the same. Let me put it back on an 8-hour time frame here so you can see we have a major market structure level here at 0.04312195. We have breaking out above that. We retested it on this 8-hour candle perfectly. Absolutely beautiful. And then we moved up higher. We are targeting this high here at 0.04493. All right. So this would be a good area to look for a support test and hold back at the 0.4312195 area, and then just beneath it at 0.04263,621. This is going to be an area of confluence. We're looking for support, test, and hold there. You also have this last market structure right beneath it, which is very important. You have a lot of support build up right underneath of ETH BTC. All right. I'm going to bring Brandon in to see if he has anything to say about these as I move forward.
So awesome stuff, man. So I was looking as you were working on these levels. So we were talking those fib extensions earlier, and I was trying to see which of our fib extensions gave us the most accurate. That number you pinpointed there, I marked it out at 1550. You had it pretty close to 1550, if I recall. Where's your number at on ETH USD? Go back to ETH USD if you could.
Yep. All right, I got 1549 spot 42 as the next area of support, possibly.
I gotta go to my active StreamYard to see where you're at. That makes more sense. All right, cool. So 1549. So yeah, I was just looking at the those fib extensions we were working on. I was trying to see what extension gave us the best numbers. What's interesting is I think I found something when you were showing me some stuff earlier. We'll talk about it here in a minute. I'll let you finish up, but I just wanted to throw that in there. There's that level. It's interesting to see if we can get a fib extension that lines up with that 1550 level, because that might tell us more about the subjectivity of our fib extensions. We may be able to work out where the better place is based on that price action we had there at 1550.
All right, so the fib extension tool. I'm going to bring up a daily chart so that way I can show you guys the correct way to use this fib extension tool. All right, everybody's always wanting targets. Whenever we do live streams or if we do videos, people are always commenting they want targets. All right, so I'm going to show you basically how you can get your own targets. All right, so basically, if you come all the way back down here to the original breakout area of 617, you can see that you broke out on a daily chart right here, right? And then you traded back beneath it and you made this market structure swing low. So this low right here is an important low. So for a fib extension target, essentially what you want to do is you want to use that low, and then essentially you're going to bring it up. I'll show you right now. If you go over here to the left hand side of the trading view toolbar, you will see that on not the cross or the horizontal rays, but the very next one, your fib tools, pull up the fib extension, and then you simply want to use that low as your first area to mark. Now, when you're using this tool, it's very important that you understand that if you're looking for buys, you want to make this tool shaped in an arrow, so to speak. So if you go up here to your very first swing high that you made once you broke out, and you just clip that right there on that high. Now, some people will use this low down here. I would suggest you do not do that, simply because all of this price is in consolidation once you had this breakout and it's trending to the upside. So what I like to do, remember, this is very subjective, but what I like to do is I like to use the last low, would be this candle here at January the 22nd, 2021. I will simply mark that low just like that. Boom. All right. And you have your little arrow aiming to the upside.
Hey, is that 22nd or the second? You said the second. Is that the 22nd, the low? I'm making sure I'm following you myself.
Yeah. January 22nd. I apologize.
Awesome. No problem.
The January 22nd low. All right. And you can see that when we traded up into this area, you did get a daily closure above, which I can't see it. It's going to be this 0.786 level, which is a very, basic fib level. These levels are only built for targets. That doesn't mean that you're going to pull up a level that's way up here and expect that to be your target. No, these give you targets for next areas of possible resistance, because computer programs, specifically algos, this is how they calculate their targets. They have no real way of calculating targets. I mean, price generally has one or two legs up to the upside before it consolidates. So when it consolidates, that consolidation is an important area. That's why I like to use the very last major low that it made, and then you will have potential price targets. If you're looking to take profits, any level above the last current high would be a good area to look to take profits. So that's how I use the fib extension tool. I don't know if that's the exact way to use it, but that's how I use it. Because technically all of this price action within this consolidation matters. It's going to be looked at as levels in the past if price ever gets back down to them. That's where technical traders like myself will absolutely look for support holds. For instance, on a daily time frame, your last bearish candle is all the way down here at 138.00. Now, retail traders that like to chase price, if we get a pullback all the way down in here, they're going to think the world is ending and it's all over for ETH. This is actually a great spot to look for a support hold. You get a support hold there, you can essentially look like it's going to make another consolidation and then possibly a leg up, because this market is trending to the upside. All right. One more thing, and then I'll let Brandon bring up his charts and show you what he's got to talk about. We're going to look at DOT real quick. ADA is also very strong on a daily chart. You can see the last 3 days we've been pulling back, but look at the price ranges on these daily candles. They pale in comparison to this bullish candle. So this is simply a pullback. You go into a smaller time frame and 8 hours not good enough. It is finding support right here. All right. So you could use that as a level to just see what happens. Currently it's finding price. It's finding support there. And that level is 1163. But DOT is just, man, this thing is strong, guys.
My biggest regret was being late to DOT and not being bigger on DOT early on. That's one of the biggest misses I've had so far.
Yeah, it's epic. This price action's phenomenal. DOT is just it's going all out. Basically, the last levels I have on DOT is this last swing high on an 8-hour time frame. That level is 18.794. All right, and then I have this last swing high here. So I'm looking for DOT to pull back in and find support at one of these two areas. If you get all the way back down here to these smaller lines, it's still good. It's still a possible area to look for support. If you break below this main market structure swing low down here, then you might want to wait until it finds support. We let price show us what it's going to do. We don't expect it to do anything. We let it show us. All right, Brandon, I'm going to give you your charts, my man. We're going to kill the music and let you do your thing.
All right, I'm going to flip on my music, but I know you can't hear it, but I just need something to listen to while we talk. I was jamming out to your music, but sorry, guys. So we had to kill the music here to flip to me. All right, so what do we got here? I got my Bitcoin chart up. Let me show you something when Heath was talking about his charts. So on those extension levels, I know you guys, I get asked a lot about targets too, so we wanted to kind of address that. So one of the things, I'm not super confident with my fib extension work. So I asked Heath, I said, hey man, give me some pointers on this. So I can tell you, I'm gonna go to the daily here and I'll show you how I had drawn these fib extensions and what Heath coached me through. So originally I had decided to draw my fib. So overlays, this is my actual fib extension tool. These are the fib levels. So when you do the fib extension tool, again, you have a swing low, a swing low, a swing high, then the next swing low is what your anchor points, right? And so what it is, I overlaid a Elliott wave on here just to mimic what might happen. Oh, I can hear myself. I'm getting some feedback.
No, that's my bad. I got it.
All right, so I just put the Elliott wave on here because I was looking at this. Also, I was looking at the Bitcoin chart and I was looking at the Elliott wave and a similar breakout pattern. So I was looking at to see if I could find any symmetry with, basically, we'll call it something like this move that we had here. And then if you map out the fib extension levels based on those anchor points, you get, when you look at this price action, this top price action here, what this ended up being when you do something very similar on this other chart, let me just draw the fib extension on the Bitcoin chart real fast just to show y'all. And then I'm going to show you how some things that Heath just coached me through. So here's the fib extension tool and a few things Heath just coached me on that helped me get a more accurate look at that. So here's what I just did. So let me just stop, pause, breathe. All right. So I'm going to draw from this anchor point I had down here, the swing low here, this swing high in here, and this swing low here. And what I noticed when I did something like that, I was doing some work on this. I think maybe this low, if I move it, yeah, that's a better low. Coming off this low right here. this last consolidation before this big impulse. This is the swing low I had chosen, I think, originally, somewhere over here, actually. And you see here, it came all the way up into the 3 levels. This is 3 times the prior impulse, is what this big monster impulse after we broke that all-time high. So this was the prior all-time high in the consolidation we had. It was this level right here. So what I did is I was looking at the fib extension levels. We came all the way up, you notice, into the 3618. So it's 3 times the prior move, basically. All right. So when I look at the same basic pattern here on Ethereum, I was trying to figure out where could this go if we actually go all the way up to the 3 level, the same 3618 level that Bitcoin did. And I was trying to find a really high-end price target for the next full set of impulse moves before a major consolidation. Now currently that's 4,200, that may be a bit high. But what Heath walked me through was, all right, so I had my fib extension kind of further down here, and I had it on a bigger pullback. Was what I was working with. And some of the things that Heath kind of explained to me was, all right, take a look at this though. What you want to do is you want to look for the last major consolidation to pick your swing lows. This is really a better level of consolidation, or maybe this one. Depends on what it's subjective. But I'm going to go with that other one there, this consolidation we had from December 16th to December 24th. So I'm going to start both my Elliott wave and the wave pattern and my fib extension level tool right there at that low at 540. And then I'm going to pick the same. We had both the same swing high. We both agreed that this was a swing high here at 1347 before we started the next consolidation phase. But Heath walked me through and said, okay, I originally had this swing low here, this immediate sell-off swing low of 903. But another thing Heath walked me through is that, but take a look at this. You entered this consolidation pattern, and really that was an interim low, but the consolidation swing low is really here because you entered this consolidation. So this might be a better place to look for the low on that wave, and thus the fib extension. And so what we get, the net result of that, you look at where we're at, the price targets we're at now. We'll zoom in here for you. If we go to the really long time frame, we should be. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
You'll see we're coming into support. If we got these fib levels right this time, that might actually act as support at 1669. Might be support. Now, again, these are subjective. So if I change this, though, I've got all kinds of marks on here now. I'm gonna get rid of some of these. If I change this swing, the next swing low anchor to this one, you see that it looks more like, if we pick that swing low, we're coming into resistance. So that can drastically change how you view the what's going to happen depending on where you pick your anchors and your swing lows and swing highs. So if this is the one that we're going with, then we might actually be finding support. We'll see how price action plays out, or maybe that could be now it looks like we're maybe finding some resistance right here at that 768 level at 1678. So we might be reversing a little bit here on the short term. So I'm gonna hand it back over. I just wanted to talk about those things, and then Heath, I just wanted to share what Heath had showed me there. Heath, you got anything else to add? I'll flip it back over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm using the Coinbase data feed, and on the Coinbase data feed, we have clearly made new highs on ETH. I mean, this thing is just rocketing. Essentially, what you have to look at when you're trying to pick out targets is in price action. The reason everything looks to be so similar is because algos are based on these things. Algos buy and sell positions based on what price is showing them or what the owner of the algo has programmed into it. So you get a lot of measured moves out of this stuff when it's trading like that. So essentially, like one big leg out and then a pullback. Like the reason I didn't use that the first pullback on ETH/USD. Let me go ahead and steal your chart from you, Brandon, real quick. The reason I didn't use this first pullback on ETH/USD is because this first pullback is essentially not a blow off top, but it's your first pullback since you had this massive run up. All right, so this pullback isn't going to be as important as, say, a pullback is during consolidation. So you have this big sell-off here. The reason I like this leg down instead of the first leg down is, like I said, excuse me, you have this push up, you have a big leg down. Support was found at that local area there. So when price trades away from that area and it comes back down into it, you can see that it didn't even trade all the way back down to that area. And then we traded out of there and we made a new market structure swing high on an 8-hour closing basis, small consolidation, and then boom, you're out of there. So this low, in my opinion, is the low that you would want to use that tool on. All right. So basically, if you just, I'll pull it up one more time real quick just to show you. You go from that low down there because that's the first low you made, the first real low you made before you broke out of this consolidation. All right. So, and then you just go to that high and that low, and you will get those possible areas. Let me grab a sip.
Yeah, I'm over here too. So I think he's sipping on vodka and Sprite, and I'm sipping on some rum and so cola.
You know it. You know what? The markets, well, not all the markets are closed. The markets, so it's time for bed almost. You know what I mean? We're doing it to it. So we're moving up. I mean, this thing's moving up. Like I said, I like those other areas of support. I definitely want to see those areas come into play. I mean, this is a long way down for ETH BTC to find support. I would much rather it find support at a higher level, obviously. So would everybody. So let's go to a 4-hour chart because this is just how I pick my levels, guys. When I'm showing you levels, when I'm doing these videos, or like if I post in my community tab, it doesn't mean that I think that that level is where price is going to turn around. And if it doesn't turn around there, therefore I'm wrong. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to tell you is look to see what happens when price pulls back into this area. This is why we don't buy just blindly in these areas, because price has to show us where it wants to turn around. Price has to show us where the buyers are getting more aggressive. As long as price is moving down, that means the sellers are more aggressive than the buyers. When you start having a rounding formation in price action, like if you look at this area down here, you push down, and then you could just simply take your your drawing tool and make a line under that. All right. You see how you traded down, and then you couldn't close another 4-hour candle below that. This one you did, and it immediately reversed. That is a bear trap. Whenever you get a closure below a specific area that you're watching, and then the next candle is a bullish candle that goes out of there very hard, there's a pretty good chance that you're on the right side of the trade if you buy that, simply because the sellers got less aggressive down here than the buyers did. All right. So when I put these levels on the charts, all I'm basically doing is I'm giving you an area to watch first. For instance, 1549 spot 42, that's a good area to watch first to see who is more aggressive at this area. Is it going to be the buyers or the sellers? And price action will generally give you an idea as to what's going on with this sort of price action here. You won't be able to close any more candles below that area. You'll slowly walk up. If this is going to be a selling market, all right, if you pretend none of this price action's here and you're short, well, if you get this pushed down and a closure below, when you retest that level, if you close another candle below it, you're probably right. It may be heading lower. So candle closures are the best to wait on. I like to wait on 8-hour closures when I'm swing trading because 8-hour, well, y'all know why, but 4-hour closures give you a lot of this stuff right here. You get a false breakdown. So every seller in the world is like, yes, we're winning finally because I sold up here. I'm in a good spot. Well, you were, and then you got stopped out. Trying to learn how to trade isn't about being right all the time. It's about being on the right side of the market more times than you're on the wrong side of the market. Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody can guess as to where this is going to go. But if you just take these simple principles and you apply them in your trading, like for instance, waiting to see what happens when price comes here, you could buy up here. Yeah, sure. But your risk reward is going to be what? Where are you going to put your stop loss? All the way down here? I mean, so essentially you'd have to have price get all the way up to here at 1947 just to get a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. You see what I mean? It's about risk and it's about reward. And these areas give you valid areas to watch in order to make that risk to reward concept a little better for you. It just helps you to understand how the markets work. And if you wait for 4-hour and 8-hour closures, you're going to be a lot better off. Let me real quick while I have the mic go back here to .btc. You can see that it is strong. These are old levels, so we're going to start from scratch. This is the way I always do it. It's simply because we have new data, and the new data is the most important data. So what we have here is we have this market structure swing low right here at 47131. All right. And you can look that we consolidated here for a week or two. I mean, you get three 8-hour candles for every daily range. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a few, almost a week of price action, and you're not able to close an 8-hour candle below that area. That means something. It's vital. And as the quicker you start to understand that, the better off you are. Now, if you see, like, for instance, you take a long on this red candle here using your stop as this green candle. If you get stopped out because you were wrong, does that mean that your strategy's wrong? Absolutely not. That's how price works. We can't dictate what's going to happen to the future. We can apply these principles and use these principles to better situate yourself for a better risk to reward trade. The risk to reward trade down here, in my opinion, was long because you couldn't close an 8-hour candle below this last swing low. And then look what you got. You got a lot of aggressive buying happening. Orders are being accumulated here, and then boom, there you go. So what you have to do now, well, let me go back there because I started to go too fast for my own good. You did get an 8-hour closure above this market structure, this last swing high. Now you are currently coming down to test that area. Am I saying that area? That area is 53905, by the way. Am I saying that area is going to hold support? I don't have a clue, but I can promise you one thing. If I wake up tomorrow and we got a wick through it and a closure above and another wick through and a closure above, chances are it's probably heading higher. Your next area to test is going to be this swing high up here. All right. That level is 858,453. All right. So you're closer to that area than you are this area. So as of now, the risk to reward is skewed in both directions. Sellers are thinking they're right and they're aiming for this area down here. Buyers, on the other hand, we're going to wait to see where price starts to hold support. There will be orders here. You can bet your bottom dollar, and then you have to wait to see what unfolds. Once you get that, then you can make better calculated decisions using trades against swing lows if you want to buy this thing. It's very strong. Bitcoin's moving up. All right. Bitcoin's been moving up. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 consecutive bullish candles on an 8-hour time frame on Bitcoin. You go into the .BTC chart, you have 2 strong bullish candles. All right. So currently, from the last, daily, you are stronger on DOT. DOT is stronger than Bitcoin because it's able to move up, even though Bitcoin is too. And that's the way currency pairs work. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. You got algo it's moving higher. Let's go look at BAL. Look at this BALUSD. Look at this, man.
Woo!
This is going off the chain. This thing isn't even pulling back for support tests yet. So obviously, when we came into this area, and let me just pull this up real quick. This was an old swing high, so it would be a traditional support resistance level. Let's get rid of that. Let's look at my level.
I'm going to interject here real fast. You want to know why this has such strong price action, man? This is a DeFi name. This is a big DeFi name. So when you get done talking about this, we're going to talk about why some of these names are moving. But yeah,
I would love that.
This one's a DeFi play, guys. So just keep that in mind as you're talking about it.
Yep. See, Brandon is the crypto tech guy. I am the price action analysis guy. So let me show you real quick. You have this last 8-hour closing candle before you broke out, right? You came back down and you tested that almost to perfection, right? This candle here, this was a stop run. You smoked all the stops resting below there for anybody that got over eager and got long there thinking that was going to hold a support. This closure right here was a huge clue. You came down, you smoked all the stops resting below that market structure, and then you are off to the races. Now, everybody would look at this candle as selling pressure. Well, there's really nothing up here other than this swing high here, which you tested perfectly. But on larger candles, larger time frame candles, what you need to understand is a wick on a smaller time frame candle is just a pullback. That's just a pullback. This candle closed bullish. It could have closed bearish, but it closed bullish. If it would have closed bearish, that would have told you something different. But it closed bullish, and then there you go. Everybody that got short on this candle here got smoked. And we love short sellers when we're bullish on these assets because this is what you kind of get after you smoke the shorts. It's all yours, Brandon.
All right, man. Yeah, so Balance is a really cool project, by the way. So it has some unique.
Here, I'm going to give you your chart. Sorry. There you go.
I'm just looking at the Balancer white paper here. So the Balancer's got it's a liquidity provider. It has an exchange element to it. Some of the really cool things about it are the way that the pools work. You can become a liquidity provider, and you can be rewarded by with Balancer tokens for supplying liquidity to the protocol, to the project, to the exchange here. So it's a really cool project. Not one that I've gotten pretty big on myself. There's just so many other plays out there. But yeah, the Balancer project, this is the reason it's so strong. I didn't know it was. I have it on my charts here. Let me take a look at my charts. Where's Bal at? So we had some questions though earlier. Oh yeah, what's up, C. Brown? So we had some questions about some other charts that they wanted to look at here. I was going to take a look at and talk through some other things here, but Balancer was one of the ones I was talking about in that the DeFi and they do. Balancer also is able to do derivatives type of assets as well. So it's a really cool multi-pronged DeFi play. Where is Bal on my chart, man? I got too many things on my chart that I'm watching. Somebody asked about Graph earlier, so I'm just gonna take a quick look at that, Heath. Now Graph is a really cool. So this is indexing of data. So a Graph is kind of a new way. So you guys heard of the Oracle services like Chainlink. Chainlink's pretty strong. And API 3 is another like up and comer. Graph is a different way of doing indexing services that allows communication between blockchains and then also the outside world. So Graph is a really cool project. Now, technically speaking, somebody asked us to take a look at it. It's obviously, so versus Bitcoin, we also obviously have a nice uptrend that we're in right now. I'm going to flip this to green. I was watching it before, but yeah, you're coming into some support now. It's kind of rounding out support. You get this level right here that if you get a resumption off of that, might be a good place to play it. So who was it that asked about Graph earlier? So we had Balancer, Graph. I had some thoughts around, I'm trying to find the comment here, but the question, hold on. Henry asked, XLM, Link, Graph, ADA, and DOT. So I don't know if we want to talk a little tech here. We got some fib extensions. So we got, so this is Heath and I's first time to do this, so we're still trying to figure out the flow of all this, guys, so just bear with us. But let me go back to his comment. Here we go. Henry, XLM, Link, Graph. So Graph, I think, obviously you have this little pullback here. Maybe Heath can walk us through some levels here. But as far as technically, this is a really cool project, so definitely want to keep an eye on. He also asked about Link, ADA, and DOT, which are the main ones. So XLM. Let me talk about XLM here real fast. I've been seeing it kind of consolidate in this very broad consolidation pattern on the USD chart. And XLM is basically the open source port of XRP, Ripple. So obviously with Ripple under pressure, now Ripple did pump because of the whole Wall Street Bets. This was a Wall Street Bets pump right here. This was a bunch of kids at Wall Street Bets got here and they got pumped and dumped pretty hard. We can also talk a little bit about Doge. Anybody want to talk about Doge out there? I don't know if there's any Doge fanboys out there. But so XRP, so XLM is the play. So if you were ever bullish on XRP, I would look at XLM as the play. So I actually have a trade on XLM right now myself on the USD. Now he's coming into resistance here on the Bitcoin chart. Let me go to take this off of auto. This is a long-term Bitcoin chart that I have here. Let's go to the daily. You see that downtrend. He's been trying to break out of this long-term downtrend on the Bitcoin chart. When XLM breaks out of this downtrend, it might get some serious movement. I think a lot of the XRP holders, when they eventually find their new home, they might have been moving to the DOT. I think they've been moving to DOT a lot, but XLM is another place they could go. So XLM is there you go. I just got the comment here from Henry. It can't seem to break this resistance on the BTC chart. It's going to probably, but it's a good project for sure. It's going to soak up a lot of what XRP had, but it doesn't have the upside a lot of other projects have. And then we had some other questions about some of these other projects. We could look at the technicals. I've talked so much about the these main projects, Link, DOT, and ADA. I don't think we want to talk tech on those. There's a million videos I have on tech on those. I did have one other thought here before I hand it back over to you, Heath. Taking a look at, let's look at the Ethereum, Bitcoin. Oh, so another one that we've talked about a lot. Take a look here, Loopring. Yeah, ADA and DOT are doing. They're both pulling back a little bit right now. I don't know what to say about them, but they're both consolidating here now, which is great. I think this whole month is going to be kind of crazy, but remember that we're going to get these big pullbacks too. So don't, this is not going to move straight up. This is going to move up and back, and it's going to retrace it up and retrace. That's what we want to happen. But man, it's looking bullish right now. I don't have much else to say, Heath. Any other questions? Ocean keeps teasing. Let's look at Ocean real fast.
Yeah,
this is Limmy's AI play right here. Yeah, Ocean BTC has been a little bit beat down. So this is an AI name. They do AI data normalization. And they have some other automated intelligence, or the autonomous intelligence space. This is an AI play if you're into that. So the thing about AI is it takes a lot of data. For machine learning or AI, it takes a ton of data, and you have to normalize that data and do something with it. So Ocean's a play in that space. But yeah, Lemmy, I don't know, man. Go ahead, Heath.
Mindy wants to look at AAVE. I mean, I got the chart pulled up if you want to.
Flip to it, man. You look at the chart. I'll talk about it.
All right, here we go. I got AAVE BTC. When I tried to pull up AAVE USD, the only chart that I could find was on Coinbase. It doesn't have much data, as you can see, but obviously this is a weekly chart. This thing has done nothing but go up. I mean, there is nothing else to say about AAVE. All right, so the last daily level that I have on AAVE, if you want to use this market structure swing high at 315 spot 49 right here, this is going to be like your traditional style of support. It was resistance, but since the breakout on a daily chart, it could possibly come back into play as support. So if I go to an 8-hour chart, that still syncs up. This market structure level here down, that's just below it on the last 8-hour closure candle. I mean, this whole area would be a boxed in area to look for support, test and hold on AAVE USD. I don't know what this thing is bullish. I mean, I wouldn't buy it up here, especially since you're showing some rejections from up here. We don't have anything to go by. I mean, other than a fib extension from maybe this low here, because you broke out here, you came back, retested it. So this low would be a good area to look for a fib extension. You could just tack it to that low. I wouldn't use this high because this high was basically a fake out type move. I would use this high because this high had more price action with it, and just go to the recent low right there. So basically those would be targets. If you want to buy this, if you're looking to buy this, Mindy, just wait for it to pull back. You want to see it hold support. We don't know that support will come in here at 315 spot 49. It may come in higher. This high here will be an area where people will start to look to buy this product or this asset. As far as ABTC, there's more price action data. This is Finex, and you can see that even in Finex against Bitcoin, it's monstrously strong. This is a bullish asset. I mean, when you're stronger than Bitcoin against Bitcoin, you're doing something right. So the first area that catches my attention would obviously be this last swing high that was made. So that area is going to be your first area to look for a support test. That level is 9424. And then obviously, if you want to go lower, you could use this candle here because this candle is a doji. So you have support right underneath it too at 8580. If you want to tell us what this thing's about, Brandon.
Yeah, so Aave is basically, if you guys know BlockFi or Celsius, it's a decentralized version of that. It's a lending platform. So you can borrow and lend within the Aave platform. That's really the very simple of it. Now, there's quite a bit of history to it. I believe the founder of it started this. Basically, he didn't know anything about, if I remember this, if this is a story, he didn't know anything about programming. He just kind of started this project. It's kind of blown up. I would warn you on this particular project. It's been very, very strong here. It has a lot of competition, and it's getting a lot of strength because of the DeFi wave. Now, if you take a look at what's locked in, I think they've got, I'm looking at the website right now, $4.3 billion worth of value earned in locked in here on this particular project. Is that right? So it definitely is a very strong project. The charts tell me that the market's obviously very interested in it. My only concern with it is it has a security flaw with it, or a security issue with it is gonna be a big problem if there is
Oh,
one.
sorry. I apologize. I had my screen up still. I was answering questions in the comments. Sorry, guys.
No problem. So security is going to be really important. And you see they've integrated here with Chainlink for their Oracle, the data feeds for some of this. But the security is going to be really paramount to this project. And so let's go look at where Aave is at. Hold on, where are they at on the market cap right now? They're all the way up to number 15. Man, so let's look at DeFi Pulse. Let's see where they're at. Here, Aave is number 2 with 4.95 billion locked in. So yeah, they are crushing it. So from a lending platform, you see the lending platform. So Maker, it really isn't so much a lending platform. But Compound is the one that kind of started a lot of the DeFi craze with their ability to just kind of stake their asset. So Aave has been picking up though. It's not a DEX, but yeah, if you look at the lending platform, 4.95 billion locked in on it. So it's a really strong platform. If you guys want to keep an eye on all things DeFi, this DeFi Pulse page, it's a really good page to see. And look at this. I'll just show you all this. Go to the third. This is the last 30 days. What value locked into DeFi? So over summer we had what's called DeFi summer, and DeFi summer is summer of 2020 when DeFi really started to explode. Why is this stopping at February 3rd? Yeah, okay. So this is January. Last 30 days, last 1 year. Sorry, that's what I wanted to see here. There we go. DeFi summer started back here. Obviously, you see for all of 2020, the value locked in DeFi was less than $1 billion. And we crossed $1 billion in summer of 2020, and then it started to really ramp from there. And we call that DeFi summer. And that's when the DeFi names really started. So if you guys remember, Ethereum and a bunch of other names really took off. And actually, everybody was kind of anticipating that Bitcoin would be really strong, obviously after the halving cycle, but we had this little pump. We'll go back here and show you the ETH BTC chart. This was DeFi summer on this pump right here. So ETH BTC on the daily. Yeah, this whole pump right here was DeFi summer that did that. So all these DeFi names, and you look at like what's happening in the market with what happened with Wall Street bets and what's just going on. If people are sick of the manipulated markets, they're going to come to DeFi. They're going to come to decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. They're going to come to crypto. But this is also why Uni's been pumping, and Uni's been crazy strong too. So Uni is one of the leader in the decentralized exchanges, right? So Uni's kind of the leader in decentralized exchanges, and Aave's the leader in decentralized lending. So that's why they're both pumping hard, is that they are at the forefront of that DeFi ecosystem. So that's a wave. So if we go to DeFi Pulse. So here's our DeFi Pulse index. I think I have it here as a different ticker, a DeFi Perp. This is the DeFi. This is what's happening with DeFi. So DeFi, 2021 is going to be the year of DeFi. So anything that's related. So remember a couple of years ago, the big bull market was all about, you can tell the the bull market was all about these ICOs and what's the next Bitcoin. The other thing too, I want everybody to remember, if you listen to Heath, if you haven't been on my channel, I've been talking about this a lot. The coins that pumped last cycle, when we're all said and done this cycle, are going to be left for dead. Because what was happening last cycle? Bitcoin was pumping. Everybody's talking about Bitcoin. Everybody's looking for the next Bitcoin. So people invested so heavily into Ethereum because they thought it was the next Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever. They were looking for the next Bitcoin, but they weren't. People hadn't come to understand the difference between Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto landscape. There is no other Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Period. End of story. So Bitcoin is going to do its thing, and the rest of them are following. However, Ethereum is a totally different animal. Ethereum is a compute platform. You can do things like build applications on Ethereum. You can't do that on Bitcoin. It doesn't work like that. Bitcoin is gold 2.0 and maybe the new global reserve currency at some point. But what you can do on Ethereum and these other platforms, Polkadot, Cardano, Algorand, is that you can build applications on them and you can make new financial capabilities on them that didn't exist before, like Aave, like a decentralized lending platform, or like Uniswap, a decentralized exchange platform. And so all of those DeFi names, that's what's going to pump this year, because I think the market's figured out that Bitcoin is the reserve currency of crypto for sure, but gold 2.0 definitely is what it's going to become. But the things that are really, really, really going to pump are going to be things that are related to DeFi, because if you see, people are getting sick of the manipulation in the markets, and they want to come to a market that's open 24/7, that has no middleman. That's the thing about Uniswap. When you trade on Uniswap or Sushi or one of these other decentralized exchange platforms, there's nobody in the middle. There's no intermediary that's being a market maker, that's creating a market in between you. Now there are market makers of sorts, or liquidity providers in DeFi or in decentralized exchanges, but there's no entity that's controlling that. It's you're actually exchanging directly with another party. It's a trustless system. And so that's what makes Aave and Uniswap so interesting. That's why they've been pumping so hard. Is that this is the future of finance. This is what in theory, Uniswap could put like the Fidelities of the world out of business. Now, I don't think it's going to happen that way, but that's the potential they have. And so this is why everything's pumping so much. Yeah. So Uni, Aave, and they're the leaders in their respective niches in this DeFi world. And so DeFi is the thing to watch this in 2021. As you can see, it's been rampant. Alan's been talking about it. I've been talking about it. My play on DeFi, the other thing too I'll talk about real fast, is my play on DeFi. I'm more focused on the platforms and the scaling. So I'm more focused on Ethereum as the core play on DeFi, because everything is built on Ethereum, right? All of this $32 billion in locked-in value, the one common thing, you've got Aave and some of these others, that are competing. And you've got, Uniswap, the lending platforms that are competing with each other. You've got decentralized exchanges competing. The one thing that's not competing right now, until Cardano comes online in just a month, is Ethereum. But everything's built on Ethereum right now. $32 billion in locked-in value, $33 billion locked in value in DeFi is all built on Ethereum. So my main play on the whole DeFi space is Ethereum. And then the other competitors and obviously DOT and Cardano have been very strong. The competitors and the platform landscape have been more my focus in playing that. But, again, all things DeFi, whether it's the platform on which DeFi is built or the actual applications themselves like Uniswap or Aave, that's what you need to watch. That's what we need to watch this year. And Curve is another one. So anyway, all right, I'm headed back over to you, man.
All right. So let me grab this. Just remind me to give you back the screen, because I'm like I said, I'm busy over here, so I'm going to try to keep it going. All right, first off, let me go over here and look at GRT XBT now. This is going to be on Kraken, and this is GRT versus Bitcoin. It's actually moving up. You got nice strong price action coming off of the lows here. You had a nice leg up, consolidation, another leg up. So what you're going to want to be looking for to get in this is consolidation. You are currently consolidating at the 2140 level, which is just this last bearish candle on an 8-hour time frame. You can see you did get below that, but you have closed back above it and are currently testing it now. So basically what you want to look for is you want to watch this. It's going to be a very tight range, but you want to make sure that you're not closing any 8-hour candles below this level, right below it at 2084. So as of right now, what I would want to see if I was bullish on GRT XBT is I would absolutely want to see it trying to trade away from this level and then maybe get long on a retest of it. If you start trading back into the lower level, then there's probably a pretty good chance that you're going to trade lower. All right, now this candle is a big range 8-hour candle. So let's go see if we got a 4-hour in between. You do. So right here is a good spot to look. All right. So if you get below that area, look for a support hold at 1870. And then obviously if you keep going lower, you're going to have to find lower areas to look for. So GRT USD on this is Coinbase's data feed. So you can see here, I already pulled up a level or two for you. This is a 4-hour chart. You can see this last swing high here. You did make a new low, but you did not close below this market structure swing low. So that area acted as support, and you have since traded out of there. All right, you can see that. It's like beautiful. Wick, wick, boom, boom, boom. Later. You are now currently testing the 789 area right here as support. All right, now this is a 4-hour chart. Let's go look at what it looks like on an 8-hour. It's perfect. This is a range down here you don't want price to get back into. You are going to have trouble here. Now, you did close an 8-hour market structure swing high. That is higher than this one. And since you're testing this last area of support and you seem to be finding it, yeah, you could probably head higher. Absolutely. I don't necessarily like taking any fresh buys here unless I get like multiple 8-hour candles testing this level and failing to close below, because you are at such a massive swing high area. All right. And you've only closed one candle above this old high. All right. And that's this one here. I mean, technically that kind of did, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's so close for too close for comfort. So you did get this nice close above that level, but you do have a lot of wicks up here. So sellers are looking to get involved up here. So basically, you're watching for support tests and holds before you decide to get long. What was the other one? NGO and TIME, TYME. NGO. These are stocks, I believe. No. NGO and BNGO. My bad. I was getting ready to say, I hope you're not trading that. That's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, BNGO is still strong. Excuse me. From the last time that I did any analysis on BNGO, I had this 1060 level marked out here. You have traded away from it, and so far the last few sessions, you've just been kind of trading in a range.
And
All
all you
right. So
stonks guys have been killing it. I'm over here in crypto land. These stonks are moving.
oh
Good
my
night.
gosh, you can't even imagine, man. Can't even
I need to
imagine.
follow you guys on the stonk channel. This is
Made
crazy.
$25 a share yesterday, so the stocks are on fire. This thing is moving up. I like this trend line right here. I would like to see a test of that area of support. You could simply put this line right here on top of this 8-hour bearish candle and see if we come down into that. It would give you a nice confluence area to look for a support test and hold. And I would absolutely, if I'm looking to day trade this, I would be looking at this on an hourly time frame. All right, TYME. I was watching this today as well. Unfortunately, I did not get an entry. Did not get an entry on this thing. Let's go back down here into price action. So basically, yeah, you had this big, huge move this morning. I mean, it was nice, but it just consolidated. So if I go out to a daily time frame, you can see that it's basically just popping in price right now. And a lot of these low float, low cap penny stocks, well, they're not penny stocks, obviously, they're trading above $4 or at 353, but basically any pops in price are going to be looked at as an opportunity for holders or insiders that own this company to offload shares. Instead of selling their position down here, they would much rather sell it up here if they bought way up here. Now, this is new. I'm not exactly sure what it does. I didn't look at any of the financials or the news on why we got such a massive pop today. It could possibly be a biotech company. I doubt it. It says technologies. I would kind of leave this one alone. Like I said, I was looking at this today because it was gapping up so hugely this morning. It just did not give me an entry that I liked. So on BNGO, I'm bullish on that. Like I said the other day, analysts are looking at a $15 price target on that. And those analysts are respected analysts, not just me. I mean, it's people like on, the news networks or whatnot. Link USD. Yes, and that was the other one. I got you. I pulled it back up here somewhere. There it is.
Y'all let me know. Do y'all understand what Chainlink is? Just drop a comment if you want a tech explanation of it. I think most everybody gets it, but if you don't, after he's done with the technicals, I'll give you a 2-minute on it.
All right. So essentially, I have this last market structure swing high on a daily chart. Let's get rid of these lines. Let's just get rid of all of them. It's just easier. So I had this area right here marked out on a daily time frame because essentially you can see you traded up here, you made this swing high, and you broke down. Now you didn't break down as far as selling pressure. This was absolutely a consolidation. You just traded down to find higher low support. You found that you are moving higher. You did close a daily level or a daily candle above that level at 24.99043. So this is productive. All right. Currently, the last two sessions, you still have 5 hours on this session. So the last session, you had a pullback and a failure to close below. This area has been tested again, and so far you are trading higher. So it looks like if you draw a trend line underneath current price, you are trying to move higher, and you did find support right here off that trend line. I just did 2 touches. You got your third nice, beautiful kiss there, and you are moving higher. So if you break down below the current level you're trading at now, this is where I would look to get or look for support, test, and hold. All right, because since you just made this, if you trade lower, this would be a nice confluent area. You have this bearish candle's opening price. That will be an area of support. You will get a bounce there. I don't know how big, but there will be a bounce. And you have this ascending trend line support coming underneath price. So X marks the spot. I would love to see a test at 23 spot 45, 935 to absolutely look for a resist or a support test and a support hold. You get that on an 8-hour closing basis, we're moving higher. All right, Brandon.
So yeah, and let me ask about DAI too. The other DAI. So there's a DAI stablecoin, and there's a DAI information asset provider. So on Chainlink, oh man, I messed up my screen here. Chainlink. So in the world of crypto, data is really, really important. So in the world of technology in general, data is very important. Data is kind of king. And when you look at what cryptocurrencies really are, the whole movement is it's a trustless infrastructure. So you trust the code. You don't have to trust an intermediary, right? So that's what Bitcoin's all about. I don't have to have a bank to transfer funds between me and you. We can do it directly. All we have to do is trust the code, trust the network. So the same thing is true in Ethereum and smart contracts. All you have to do is trust the code, trust the network. You don't have to trust a central authority of some type. And so, but the problem is when you want to go get data, like in the real world, or you want to get data between 2 very different blockchains, how do you get that data trustless across there? So if I'm writing a smart contract in Ethereum, for example, as the base one, and I want to go, if it's a sport bet we're making, and I want to validate that, the Super Bowl, we want to bet on, Heath and I are going to bet on the Super Bowl. I'm going to bet the Kansas City Chiefs win, and Heath, being in Florida, wants to bet on the Buccaneers, right?
Yes,
so we have to go. All right, then. And I'm probably going to be rooting for the Buccaneers, but I'll take this. I'll give you that one since you're in Florida. So when we write the smart contract in Ethereum, if we're going to place a bet and we want to do so without an intermediary, right? I don't want to have to go to a bookie or anything. We can do it by ourselves, obviously. But if I wanted to put it in code, right, and I wanted to have it on a smart contract, I could write a smart contract that says, all right, Heath and I are both going to deposit 1 Ethereum to some neutral wallet, or something like that. There's a bunch of ways you can do it. Nonetheless, we both deposit 1 ETH. The winner gets 2 ETH. The loser doesn't get his ETH back, right? So we're just going to bet an ETH on the outcome of the game. I can write a smart contract to do that. We both deposit something to a neutral wallet, and I go get the data. The important part is, how do I verify who won the game? This is a very simple analogy, so just bear with me here. Obviously, it's super simple to go verify who won a sports game, like a Super Bowl. But that's an example of, I have to go get data from either the NFL or ESPN or somewhere else, and get that data feed and pull that into our smart contract. Now, in really complex smart contract, there's a lot of data it's a lot harder to figure out where you're going to get that data from. So if I wanted to pull market values on properties or something, it's a lot harder to figure out where you can get that data and how to do that trustlessly. Right now today, you have to typically go to some central authority, some type of real estate, authority that or municipality or something, right? Your appraisal values or something. You have to pull the value from some central authority as to what the values of properties are. So getting that data trustlessly but being able to rely on the code and the ecosystem behind it, it's difficult right in smart contract today with that. So I have to go again, pull data from a central authority. Well, this is where Chainlink and other Oracle services comes in. So Chainlink is the leader in the Oracle space. The Oracle space is basically, it means that you're a trusted entity to provide data. And so the way, let's see if I can find it here on their website here for you real fast. The way that Chainlink works is that you have a system, an ecosystem of participating nodes. Now, I can run a node, and I can be, maybe I want to focus, my node wants to be a really good aggregator of sports data, just like all those scores and stats and whatever else, right? And so say also we wanted to bet, on top of it, we also wanted to bet additional, who's going to have more yards, Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes on that one, even though I want Tampa Bay to win. Patrick's going to have more yards, but nonetheless, if we wanted to bet on that, he actually wanted to go Tom Brady and go the old man route, bet on the old man. He could do that, right? We could add another layer to our bet, but I have to go again, pull those stats. So one way to do it is to go to central authority like NFL or ESPN, or I can use Chainlink or some other Oracle service. And Chainlink, so now say on the side I'm running an aggregator, or somebody's running an Lemmy is running an aggregator of sports data, and so we can go pull from Lemmy's Chainlink node the aggregation of sports data that he has, and he's a trusted member of the Chainlink ecosystem, and the Chainlink ecosystem has validated for us because he's a good actor and some of the other metrics that are going on in the Chainlink ecosystem. He's got a very good reputation, very good score. We can trust the data feed from Lemmy, but it becomes a trustless data feed. Basically, I'm trusting the Chainlink ecosystem to tell me that Lemmy's reputable, but I'm not having to rely on ESPN or NFL specifically. I'm trusting the Chainlink decentralized community, basically. And so Lemmy then provides us, but also the other thing, Lemmy does a service for us. So normally if I'm a programmer writing a smart contract, I've got to go code all this, how to pull the data, how to get the API, which API do I use? NFL.com's API may be a little different than ESPN's, and I got to figure out how to connect to the API, how to do the API call I want and get the JSON response that I want. The JSON's a JavaScript library, right? So I get this JavaScript, this code back basically that I have to depack all the code and figure out what the stats are that I'm looking for in there, or the score, or whatever it is. And then I have to put that in my smart contract to normalize that data somehow. Well, Lemmy is going to do that for us as well. So now we know that Lemmy is trusted. We're trusting the Chainlink ecosystem, not ESPN or the NFL, but the Chainlink community. We're trusting the Chainlink community to tell us that Lemmy is a trusted node that we can pull data from. So I'm just going to pull Lemmy's data, and he's going to do the hard work of figuring out how to connect to all those APIs, and he's going to normalize the data. So all I have to do is know how to talk to Chainlink in general, and then any data that I want to get, I can go talk to Chainlink and get that data. So now instead of going to ESPN or somewhere external, I have a very simple connector, a very simple set of code in my smart contract, and I connect to Chainlink. And I might specify that I want to use Lemmy's data feed, and I use Lemmy's data feed to get the data that we want for our smart contract, and I pay him a small fee for normalizing that data and for being a trusted, for being a good member in that community. And I'm not trusting, again, it's a big corporation. I'm trusting the community of Chainlink. So that's kind of what Chainlink is doing. And there's other Oracle services and competitors. They are also so this is another part of my play on DeFi. I've recommended API 3, I've recommended the Graph, and I've recommended Chainlink. So Chainlink is the big baller in the space, and he's the one that you can stuff even up to 5 or 6% of your entire portfolio with Chainlink, and you can be just fine sitting on that. API 3 and the Graph, those are more speculative plays. I would keep those like under 1%, but those are other good ones to look at in this same space. So, all right, I'm done with my tech talk there, guys.
You're killing it, man. You're killing it. I love those explanations. They're so in depth. They're great. I know nothing about that stuff. That's why I listen to your videos, man. It's insane how much information is known or you need to know in order to trade these things. Basically, I'm gonna look at Doge real quick because that is on the thumbnail of the thing. It was going insane. I'm gonna steal your screen real quick. Also, someone was asking about why.
Oh, Henry, you're in. Hold on, I got Henry. You're in Sarasota. I love the Tampa Bay, Sarasota area. We've actually talked about possibly moving there. So Florida in the house.
Yeah.
I hope your Buccaneers win, Henry. I hope your Buccaneers win.
Do you got anything? Henry said, "What do you guys think about YFI printing additional coins?" That's your alley, Brandon.
So when YFI first came out, all the YFI craze and it hit 30K, I don't like the YFI domain token, the one that everybody traded that hit 30K. There's a lot of specific tokens within YFI that I like just fine. And the YFI ecosystem is really cool, but YFI itself, this one I told everybody to stay away from. Yeah, you see it's been beat down versus Bitcoin now, but if I go over here, YFI, they're a big player and they bought a lot of smaller players. And I wanted to, there is one really good play that they have. Go ahead, talk about your charts, and I'm gonna look at which ticker it is. There's a ton. If you just look on CoinMarketCap and you type in YFI, you're gonna get like 50. And
go ahead.
I was doing research on one of them. I can't remember which one it was. Wi-Fi's got a lot of cool projects. Let's just go to Urine Finance real fast. I'll be able to get it off their site real fast. Hold on. There's one specific part of the project. Go ahead and talk your charts. I'll go find this. I'll go find which crypto it actually is. That's part of their.
All right. So I got Doge USD pulled up here on the 8-hour time frame. I'm gonna switch out to a daily real quick just to kind of show you. I had Doge versus BTC on here also. Let me go grab that real quick because it's important. It's doing similar things, but not quite. All right, so let's talk about the USD pairing first. You can see this massive spike up. Obviously, that had something to do with Wall Street bets, I believe, because this thing wasn't doing anything, and then boom, you just exploded in price. Now, if you look at the daily candle, you can see this massive wick. If you're new to the crypto space, you can just scroll back in data and time and see that big fat wicks like that usually doesn't mean good things for cryptocurrencies. However, with that being said, you did find support roughly higher than the midpoint of this first breakout candle, which is important. All right. So basically, I have this market structure swing high here on the daily chart. Yesterday, you tested it, which this is actually this is today's, and this is going to be tomorrow's candle. It's just the way cryptos
Hey Heath,
close.
you got. I think you got mine still up. By the way.
Shit. Apologies. Thank you. I'm looking at my own chart over here, and you guys are acting. Like,
all right. Yeah. Sorry. I'll talk about the Doge tech when you're done too.
All right. So basically, you have this big breakout bullish candle, and then you have this nasty big wick right here on this daily chart. That is a nasty wick. All right. But basically, this bearish candle tested higher than the midpoint of this breakout candle. So that's going to be your lower end of this market structure and this range to see what happens. Because with such a big move like this, I do expect Doge, if this candle closes back below this area at 3711.835, then you're going to be range bound. If you can close this daily strong above these last two areas here, because this is your last bullish closing area, and this area yesterday or today's candle could not close above it. So tomorrow's candle is going to be vital, as in where does it close? Does it close above that area or does it close back beneath it? So if you close back beneath it, look at this to be range bound. If you close above it, your next area to look for a resistance test is obviously going to be that market structure up there at 458.9452. All right. And then Doge BTC is weaker. All right. So you can see here against Bitcoin, this is that same market structure. You didn't even trade to that area today. All right. And now tonight, you're starting your trading day. So tomorrow against Bitcoin, you definitely want to see a daily closure above 112 Satoshis. If you don't get that, you're going to be range bound in this area. You could look for support holds at 82, which is this level here. As long as you're trading above that, it could be an area to possibly buy. All right. So Dogecoin, with this massive move, it's only normal to expect consolidation. If bulls are truly in control of this asset, you will start getting daily candle closures above 112. If you're not getting daily candle closures above 112 in the next week or so, I would not be looking to buy this in this range. Maybe lower if it finds support lower. All right, that's all I got to say. I'm going to let Brandon finish it up with some tech talk, and then we're going to call it. Go ahead,
right,
Brandon.
thanks,
Let me
Heath.
give you a shot back.
All right. Yep. I'll throw up the deal. I got a question here from Rivera about so there's a couple of good resources I can send you at. So there's a bunch of hype guys on YouTube that I know a lot of people reference a lot, and they're more about getting clicks and hype. There's one YouTuber that I really like that's a really great source. His name is Hashoshi, Hash Hashoshi. Let me find his page for you real fast. This is the best guy if you want the understanding of technical. Now, he's a terrible trader. He sometimes throws out like, oh, I think the chart's going, price is going here, got going. He's horrible. His calls are so terribly wrong, but that's not the point.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, here he is, right here, Hashoshi. He's actually a block. So he's a full-time Ethereum developer. Well, he's a cryptocurrency developer. He does have mostly writes contracts for Ethereum. So he's a really good expert, and he's got some really good videos. And so again, don't listen to his trading advice is horrible, but he's really good on the tech side. Outside of that, frankly, I get a lot of comments and Twitter posts, and I've had to learn a lot more about a lot of these smaller projects because of people asking me questions just like you guys have. And so I have to go research. But one of my central places I go is I go to CoinMarketCap. I find the coin on here. So say somebody will ask me about Doge. All right, let's go find Dogecoin. Right. And so I just look here and I get all the data about obviously the price action and, where it's at on the ranks and everything, its website. And there's some good summary notes here. And a lot of times when people ask me, and I can't remember off the top of my head about the project, this is where I'll go. You see in my live streams, I just pull this up and I start skimming through this to remember, and or just give you my thoughts on something that I haven't looked at before. But the CoinMarketCap is a great place. They're a great aggregator of all kinds of data about all kinds of cryptocurrencies. And they give you a little scoop, a lowdown about the project. And then obviously you can go to the website from here. Now on Doge, the one thing I want to warn everybody with, this is going to be a pump and dump for a couple of reasons. But I put it on my chart. It's here in red as a market to watch. So, I will have to actively trade this now because enough people know about it. And it was started as a joke. And Doge is actually a fork. I had this as a green line at some point. Get rid of that. Doge is a fork of Litecoin. So if you guys have seen any of my videos, you'll know that I've been very bearish on Litecoin. I think Charlie, the guy that started, is a fun guy and all, but he started it as a joke too. And Litecoin just doesn't have a future. Bitcoin is the reserve crypto asset for. Hold on, I'll fix my music here. The reserve crypto asset for cryptocurrency, and we have now the ability to put Bitcoin on more agile chains. So Bitcoin itself can only do like 3 transactions per second before what we call SegWit or segregated witness. And after SegWit, after segregated witness, we do about 7 transactions per second. And that's just a small upgrade in splitting some of the data out on the chain that allowed Bitcoin to be a little bit faster. So that post SegWit, my Bitcoin node is running SegWit. I'm post SegWit, so I can do about 7 transactions per second. Not very much, right? But Litecoin stripped out a bunch of stuff that wasn't needed, and it can do like 13 or 15 transactions per second. And it was supposed to be a lightweight version of Bitcoin used for day-to-day transactions, day-to-day payments. Well, that was the idea of it, right? So that Bitcoin was going to be more the reserve currency, the gold 2.0, and then Litecoin was going to be the smaller, lightweight asset that people use for everyday payments. Well, the problem is in the several years that it's been around, it's never taken off. And now you can do things like wrapped Bitcoin. You guys have probably all heard of wrapped Bitcoin. If I go back to the DeFi Pulse and I go to derivatives, you'll see here synthetics is the #1 derivatives, and then REN is not on here, but REN assets. Is it REN? Yeah, REN VM. Here it is. REN VM allows you to. They're the ones that are primarily involved in allowing you to do wrapped Bitcoin. So be able to take Bitcoin and put it on in ERC20 token and exchange that Bitcoin one for one on the Ethereum blockchain, and then by extension, you can use other much more agile blockchains as time goes on. So we'll be able to use other blockchains that are much more agile, like Cardano, very soon here, to be able to exchange, wrapped versions of Bitcoin. So you'll be able to use Bitcoin you can use Bitcoin today in the DeFi ecosystem by using wrapped Bitcoin or a WBTC, which is directly tied 1-to-1 to Bitcoin. And also with the Lightning Network, I do run a Lightning node, and that's making a lot of progress. I need to do a video about the Lightning Network and Lightning node. It's a bit kludgy at times, but it's a very, very agile and lightweight payment system that you can send money anywhere in the world instantaneously, nearly free. My Lightning node processes maybe 10 transactions a day, and I might get 1,000 satoshis out of that at most, right? So I get very little, but so it's very lightweight, almost costs nothing. It's a few satoshis or not even a US penny to send a transaction on the Lightning Network. So Bitcoin is going to be what people are going to use in the future to transfer value in crypto assets. Either within the crypto sphere, the reserve cryptocurrency is going to be Bitcoin, and even in payment system, if we start using a cryptocurrency as a form of payment in replacement of fiat, Bitcoin is going to be what everybody's going to start using, and it will just denominate it in Satoshis. And so the future for things like Litecoin don't exist. And Doge, all Doge is a doggy, a dog-themed fork of Litecoin. It is all Doge is Litecoin with a puppy dog, literally. So Litecoin, you see Litecoin, obviously, let's look at Litecoin's chart real fast versus Bitcoin, which is the real measure of the strength of the project. Go to the daily chart. You can see Litecoin's been lagging, and I've been warning people since I don't even know when, like way back here. Like don't mess with Litecoin. It's not going anywhere. And you can see it's slowly dying versus Bitcoin. It's slowly tapering off here. It doesn't have a future because of all of the other things I talked about. More agile blockchains and layer 2 scaling solutions like Lightning. So if Litecoin doesn't have a future, Doge certainly doesn't have a future, because Doge is just a silly joke imitation. So obviously the price levels that he talked about, Doge is a fun, gimmicky coin that like Wall Street bets and the kids on Wall Street. But as soon as this fad is over, it's just going to be a done deal, and it's going to crash back down to nothing. Right. But as long as it's a fad, as long as people talk about it, as long as people recognize it, it'll have some value, because the value of any crypto is not in, it's in the value of the people who are building the project and the people who believe in it. So at the end of the day, I'll watch it and I'll trade it because that's what the value is. But I don't. So Doge, just be careful with Doge. That's the main thing, right? So Doge is we can trade it. Like if it's got some technical setups and you want to trade it, go for it. But I would be very, very, very hesitant to just buy it and hold it. That's my thoughts on that.
As long as people are buying it, it's going to go higher. I mean, if the buyers are more aggressive than the sellers, it's going to go higher. And obviously down here, which when you get these low moves like this, like if I just spread this out so you can actually see how big, like this thing has absolutely no liquidity in it at all. You see how look at these are.
So you're back on, you're on my chart. Take back over.
Shit. I'm so used to this by myself. But you can see there is no liquidity at all in these daily candles. Like this thing trades for months and months and months at the same price point because no one's trading it. All right. You get an inflow of volume that is only on one side of the market, which is aggressive buyers. And you're going to have pops in price like this. You can see the sellers start to rejoin the market, and then all of a sudden you dry up again, and then boom, you get a massive short squeeze like that. For anybody who got short, it's a very, very, very aggressive and volatile asset. Just watch those two levels. Essentially, if you're going to be trading it, I wouldn't suggest in buying it up here for an investment. If you want to invest in it, wait till it comes back down here. If you just want to trade it, watch these two levels that I said. 112 is the top of the range. 82 is the bottom of the range. You know what I mean? That's your trading range for now until you break out with a daily closure above or below that area. We've been going for about an hour and 18 minutes, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Let me go over these real quick just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Long-term LTC BTC chart looks good. Horrible, maybe temporary bounce. Yeah, for you guys that are in C.T.M, which is probably the majority of you guys, any questions you have, you can always ask me or Brandon. Brandon is a tech guy, so if it's in regards to crypto technology, you ask him. I mean, if you need help finding technical levels, obviously I will do my best. So I'm going to say good night, and Brandon, let you say good night, and we'll call it.
All right, guys. Good night. Yep. It was fun, man. It was awesome doing a dual session. Yep. We'll call it here, but take care, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in the morning, and we'll find some setups tomorrow. We'll talk to you guys later.